I'm going to talk about people who don't realize that they are witches or into witchcraft or warlocks. And so, number one, seducers and seductresses. Seducers and seductresses. Y'all, I'm going to say it and I'm going to say it out loud. You ready? Daters. I'm not talking about everybody who goes on a date. Most daters. You use flattery. You're speaking into a person's life because you're trying to attain a certain result when you have not done your due diligence of testing the spirit. You have not done your due diligence of testing the spirit. You've already made up in your mind, and this is what brings you into witchcraft. You've already made up in your mind what type of person. And I can tell you, it's easy to do, to come across somebody who looks good and to put it in your head, this is the type of person I wish this person was. And then to tell yourself, this is the type of person that he is. Oh my gosh. And then start falling and start liking that person. And then from there, you start seducing that person because you're falling in love or falling under the spell, under the concept of who you think that person is and not who they really are. So now when you're tonguing him down, you're not tonguing down who he really is. You're tonguing down who you hope he is or who he has the potential to be. Because remember, I told you the devil will give you the demonic striptease. He will let you see a man's potential. Or to the brothers, he'll let you see a woman's potential. He will let you see a person's potential. And when you see that potential, it's hard for a woman to come back from that. Oh my gosh. I think he's a good person. You know, I mean, he ain't right with God. I mean, but are any of us really, truly right with God? And I mean, he does believe in Jesus. Call me in 5 years. Let me see your report on him then. Call me in 5 years. Revelation God showed me about relationships. And I'm going to, about relationships. When you're going into the different levels of a man, he showed me this gradient. Where when a man is broken, and this is not just to men, but women as well. When a person is broken and the core of their souls is very dark. But a lot of times what you see, the outskirts of them, you see the light, you see all of that. But the more you go into their heart, the more you go into the darkness of that person. And when you get into their heart, when you get into a dark space, you can't trust because you don't know what you're touching. You don't trust. So you're going to deal with somebody who doesn't trust you. At the closer you get to the heart, the more danger you're in. So in the beginning, he's like, man, I can't stop thinking about you. I promise he starts making these agreements, talking about he ain't going to never leave. And he believes that. When he says it, he means that. He believes that. He does not plan to leave. But as you go deeper and deeper into those areas that have not been occupied by the Most High God, meaning there's no light, no revelation there, you're going to find yourself in the darkness. And so from there, because he can't see you, because there's darkness, he's going to get scared. He's going to get intimidated by the fact that, oh my gosh, you're in a space that no other person has been. And that's going to make him real insecure. So what he's going to do is, one, he's going to try to hold on to you the wrong way, or two, he's going to sabotage your relationship because you are terrifying him, because you're in a space that is not yet occupied by the Most High God. That is to say, stop trying to save these people. Your goal is to give them to God so God can save them. Evangelism, but you don't mix evangelism with dating, because the closer you get into that heart, when you're on the outskirts, he may be externally saved. He let God in his conscious. Maybe he let God in his subconscious a little bit, but his unconscious has not been occupied by the Most High God. So as you ascend and you start uncharted territories, but as you start ascending and you keep getting closer and closer, that alarm in his heart gonna go off. He gonna get scared. He gonna become insecure, and he ain't gonna know. Because now he knows you have the power to destroy him. In his mind, you have the power to hurt him, and he doesn't want that. He doesn't want to give nobody that type of power. His mama hurt him. Some people hurt him. He doesn't want to give you that type of power. So consequently, he gonna break you down. The more you get into his heart, thank you, AG, God bless you. The more you are seeing, he gonna break you down because God is not there yet. And the more you go into the dark, in the dark spaces, there are demons as well. And demons are going to sit up there and be like, who is that? Who is that? What's she up in here for? The more you get into his heart, the more he sits there and he finds himself, can't stop thinking about you. I said this to my students. I was talking to them one time. I said, when you're dealing with a person like that, when you get into, let's say, there's 5 levels of the man's soul. When you get into that 3rd level, he starts sabotaging. He starts doing all this stuff to get you out of there. You know what happens? He starts sabotaging. He don't call you as much. He's trying to destroy the relationship. And you catch him and you say, listen, I understand that you were hurt and you went through a lot. And I keep telling you, you don't have to worry about me. You can trust me. I got you. And you're like, I'm not mad at you. I understand you're trying to sabotage this. But baby, I'm not going nowhere. And he goes into this phase. He just stares. He just looks at you. What you just did was you're ascending further and further. Remember, it's a gradient. It's going to get darker and darker as you go. You just ascended. Thank you, Sister Kizzy. God bless you. You just ascended further and further into the darkness. Now, what you're doing is you're becoming a God. You're becoming a God. And as you continue, what you're doing is you're ascending or you're moving closer to the spirit of murder. Because where there is no light or life, God is life. Where there's no light of life, there's going to be darkness. And when you get there before God gets there, you put yourself in danger. I don't know who needed to hear that. But again, people who don't realize that they are witches, they're seducers and seductresses. And there are different ways, different categories of these. There are people who use dance to seduce. There are women who have powers in their face. Y'all don't want to talk about this, but there are people who have powers, brothers, hear me.